right, what's up? What's up, everybody? Yo, Akaash is tight, man. What's up?
China, yo.
What's up? Akaash angry at China. This is not about Corona. Apparently, there's beef on the China-India border. For any new listeners, Akaash is half Chinese, half Indian. You know, he's really torn apart on this one, bro. He is torn apart, dog. So tell me what you're going through right now as a half Chinese, half Indian man.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, yo.
No, so Akaash came in here.
I'm pure blood out this bitch.
Yo, this how you know he knows we don't give a fuck about what's happening on the India-China border. He didn't even put that on the episode notes. He was gonna write it on the top of the notes. He was gonna write it. Here's some interesting stories. Instead, he was like, nah, put in what Patrick Beverly said about the trash.
I knew. I'm not doing this to myself.
Mark just came in on Black Lives Matter time. And
I like you support the movement, Mark.
Showing
I feel
solidarity,
you,
bro.
Yeah,
Mark out here showing solidarity, son. AlexxMedia. All right, so okay, Akaash, break down to the people and try to make it interesting.
I just read about this.
Yo, message us at what point you turn off the podcast as Akaash describes what's happening at the China-India. Akaash tagged me. Akaash really tagged. Akaash really tagged. All right, go.
You know why I'm tight?
I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna be interested.
You know why I'm tight?
You know what side I'm on.
You know why I'm tight? You fucked it up, yo.
What is that?
It's namaste. What you giving Chinese sounds for?
Yeah, that's what I did. I gave the Chinese sound.
But you did the Indian.
You think Chinese people don't do this?
They bow, son, like the little subservient assholes they are.
How you think they hit the fucking symbols, bro?
It's like, what?
Here's why I'm upset.
You think Chinese people don't go like that?
Here's why I'm upset. Because you think I know why they're fighting.
They think they
You think you invented the put your hands together?
Hell yeah, yo.
Man, come on, bro. That's Chinese people putting their hands.
Yo.
How you think they bind their feet? They make them put their hands and feet together, and then they bind them shit.
Only the feet, yo.
No, real talk. You think Indians?
That's Indian. That's some yoga shit.
Are Chinese people just ripping off everything?
That's probably what this is about.
Yo.
Oh shit.
Oh my God!
They've been appropriating.
They about to rip off your land in a little bit,
dude. You think they're about to appropriate your whole country?
They're trying.
Son, hold on. Okay. Break down. We're gonna interrupt you every few seconds, but try to break down what's going on.
I don't know why they're fighting.
Okay.
I just know on the border there were some deaths. And if everybody's not on India's side, I'm gonna be fucking livid. So
you expect us to side with India in a war against China?
I expect anybody to side with whoever's warring against China.
Why?
Because Corona!
What about it?
That's them!
They did it?
Hell yeah, they did it! Whether intentionally or not, and I'm gonna be honest, I think intentionally, they did that shit. Fuck them!
Yo, you know who you need to send there to the border? That motherfucker from How Can She Slap?
Son, fuck that. Fuck China. They out. Let's get them out.
You think we should get them out?
We gotta.
How are we gonna get them out?
Some kind of economic sanction or something. I've been saying this before, this tension. They can't just start a fucking pandemic and then we all act like they didn't.
Yo, what?
Y'all just go ahead and ascend the business power.
Now, this is actually an interesting thing because I heard that, whatever, there's like long-term strategies that they have.
China?
In place.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah, because apparently all them koi fish turn into Chinese soldiers. I don't know if you knew that. No, this is true. In all the Hilton hotels, they got them little ponds.
Yeah.
And they're waiting, and right at the right time, it's going to be a gong, and they all turn into Chinese soldiers.
And they've been working on this shit since Ninja Turtles, yo. They've been trying to train these little motherfuckers to fight for them. That's what foot soldiers are, yo. Just fucking sushi dinners pop up.
For real, you got to figure out how you're going to take advantage, though. How you guys are going to fight. Because we're going to have your back. Okay?
Hey, everybody better.
But what are you guys going to use to fight them?
Hey.
Like, what do Indians have? What's your weapon? Like, what is the Indian weapon? Get out of here.
The Indian weapon is people, yo.
No, but it's people, but they also got people. You guys need a weapon.
We got more people.
No, you don't.
Oh, they might come with the bamboo sticks.
We got more people for sure.
Them bamboo sticks that they would just smacking motherfuckers on the street to go back inside.
That's your weapon? Sticks? Indians need a real weapon, bro. What is your weapon?
I don't know what your weapons are.
Y'all can't.
Thousands of years. Fuck out here, yo. Fuck you think this is?
You're saying that you're going to use
Oh my God, we need weapons against Chinese people? What the fuck are we talking about?
Chinese people got karate. They got
get
martial
the fuck
arts.
out of here,
They got
karate.
smoke bombs.
Karate is only effective when black people learn it.
Say again?
Karate is only effective when black people learn it.
Yo, let
black
me take
people
that in.
and Bruce Lee.
Let me take that in. That is interesting.
Yeah. Bruce Leroy will fuck everybody up.
Yo, Bruce Lee versus Bruce Leroy. Who do you think got that?
Bruce Leroy, dog. Ain't even a question.
Yo, were there any black guys in Street Fighter?
Yeah.
The video game?
Yeah.
Who?
Damn.
Not Balrog.
Balrog, I was
That don't
gonna
count because Balrog is in a later version of Street Fighter.
Nah,
The
he's in
initial?
He's in the initial. The black
Nah.
Nah, who's the black guy in Street? Are you talking about the Brazilian Blanca?
Yeah.
Son.
No,
fucking monster.
That guy's green, bro. What are you talking about?
Not that guy. The other black guy. He had the fuck. He looked like Mr. T.
Oh, Sagat?
No.
Come on, son. Hold on.
What?
Sagat was Thai.
Sagat was Thai, dude.
What's his name?
There were no black guys in Street Fighter?
You fucking Sagat. Yo,
Yeah,
I know
dude.
that.
How are there no black guys? There's not like some guy
Street
who
Fighter
just...
2, the Jamaican fighter, DJ.
See, there was no black
That
guys
wasn't
in
even
Street Fighter
2. That was like a later Street Fighter 2. Because Street Fighter 2, the first one. Yo, that's
it
Japanese,
says.
but these Asians.
Think
don't
about,
give a
let me
fuck
see
about
if we
black
could get all these characters. Ryu, Ken, Blanca,
people. Zangief.
Zangief, Dalsum. How do you not do Dalsum? Vega,
Goes without
Sagat,
saying,
M.
you know what I
Bison, Chung Lee, Guile.
I'm fucking impressed right
Yeah,
now.
I am impressed. This is
Yeah, so y'all
I'm
know spells.
Googling
I
and
know
I can't
Street
even find
Fighter.
that
You
quick.
fucking. Was that
man.
beeped? Who knows? Y'all can guess.
Oh, boy.
No, but for real. Okay, did I miss anybody? They had no black people in Street Fighter.
son. I think DJ was in the original.
DJ was
No,
not
it
in the
wasn't the
original. I don't even know what the
original,
fuck
yo.
DJ looks like.
Stupid
Bring up
ass.
DJ so we can see.
Fucking Sagat.
It's real talk. Real talk, bro. Yo, there were no black people
This
in Street
motherfucker
Fighter.
right here.
E Honda.
That's, yo, come on, yo. That's
Motherfucker's
what
in
you
a
left
barrel.
out.
Oh, he's
Honda's
Japanese.
E Honda's here. This is
You
E
left out
Honda.
E Honda,
This is a
though.
black dude.
Go back. Go to him.
What do you mean? Go to him.
Oh,
This
you
is
can't click.
the fuck you want me to do?
Go to him.
Yo,
Click
you
him.
can't. Mark, you looking this up?
Son, this is the black dude. I'm telling you, we had a black dude. You just never fought with him, you racist motherfucker.
Hell no.
You?
No, but you got to fight against him. I remember one time I was fighting against this black dude, and that motherfucker was yelling, "World Star!" The whole time. I was like, chill, bro. Yoga Flame. Yoga Flame, dogs. Yoga Flame. Nah, for real. Can you bring up a picture of him, like the whole character? I don't believe that guy was a character, Al.
So,
I don't believe that guy was a character. I think you making that shit up.
black.
Anyway,
Well, I'm telling you, he was in the original.
nah, he
They
wasn't.
just upgraded his look, but he was
All
in
right,
the original.
sorry, we're interrupting. We're interrupting how India is going to beat China. What the fuck are you guys going to use to fight them? Do you guys have an army?
Yeah.
Okay, what weapons do you guys have? What are you known for? What is the weapon you're known for? If it's hand-to-hand combat, what is the weapon that you're known for?
Motherfucking yoga, dog.
So what?
We gonna reach around these guys, you know what I mean? Fucking grab them by
Hug
the neck,
them and do
headlock.
what? Like, what are you doing with
Come
that
on,
shit?
Son, the weapon is
Did
a
you just
billion
say
people.
yoga? They got 1 billion people too.
We got 1.4, and they're old motherfuckers. Young people are not enough because they
Y'all got the oldest people.
Nah, we got the oldest people, but we got mad young people too. They don't got young people because they got one child per family.
I don't know about that, bro.
Bruh, India's
they
the
got
most populated
robots,
country. It's
though.
not even a question.
Son,
They got robots.
I really am concerned about India. We need to give y'all a weapon. What
I'm
is?
saying, white people could be our weapon. Yo, have our fucking back for once.
We got your back. When have we
got
not
a
had your
common
back?
enemy.
Do we?
I've always had India's back.
Yeah, but
Haven't I always defended India
China owns
throughout the years?
they own our debt though. Like
What?
China owns our
So
debt.
let's go with
That's what I'm
India.
saying, yo.
Absolve that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
Come on,
What
bro.
you talking about, Al?
So
Yeah.
you come up with a
Yo,
plan
you
for
a
the
traitor?
you come up with a plan for the iPhones and Jordans. Black people are on
Who
board.
he's
the
in-
fuck you think programmed this thing? They just made it.
Yeah, I ain't programmed them shits.
You're just saying things.
Yeah.
You're just saying things.
Wait, India programs iPhones, son?
That's too foolish for this
that
podcast.
shit really bothered Akaash. The fact that you said Indians couldn't program, that really bothered Akaash.
It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing at this point? We're just saying things.
Nah, but in all seriousness, I want to support Indians in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find a way where we could create a weapon for you guys.
Send us your weapons.
But I don't even know if you guys will know how to
You know
use
our
them.
weapon, real talk?
What is that?
They gonna
Fuck
program
China.
them.
That's our weapon.
Fuck China.
That's our weapon.
What is that?
Everybody have our back. China out here trying to kill everybody with their fucking pandemic.
Okay.
Just send us your weapons. White people, you got the best weapons. Give them to us.
Yeah, but your most powerful thing is tricking white people into doing your shit.
No, we be doing shit and pretending we're you. Outsourcing calls.
No,
You
I'm
send it
talking
to us
about
and
like
I say my name is fucking Brian.
You don't need. Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying you don't need white. If you can get white people to join the fucking Rajneeshi or whatever that is, right? If you can get white people to do yoga, if you can get white people to put the feathers in their heads and shit, and to do the bindis, you can get white support for an anti-China war.
That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
come be our soldiers.
Man, I don't know about all that, bro. Y'all might have to deal with that one yourself. I'm down to support India.
He wants your weapons and you gotta fight for him.
I'm really concerned.
Yo, give us the weapons. We're good money.
I'm honestly concerned that I don't know how you guys are going to do the fighting.
If we don't have support, we're not gonna win. Why do you think I'm so passionate about this subject?
Yeah,
what do you think I'm talking about?
It might be a wrap.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
if
on
Chi-
his side now because he hasn't said black people need to do anything, so I'm on your side.
Yo, are you going to ask black people?
No.
So,
So yeah, we good.
hold on.
I'm for
Are you gonna
India
ask
all
black
the
people
way.
to stop their fight for civil rights here and then fight against China?
No, son. If anything, I'm trying to get more white people to go to India so you can get fucking, you know what I mean? Seize the opportunity.
There
There's
we
lots of white
go. There
folks
we go.
here.
I'm on board.
We ain't
I'm
asking
on
black
board.
people for nothing.
Fuck China.
Who are you comfortable owing is the question.
All right. Yo, so India, we're with you, bro. Hey, we stand with you, India. We got you, man. If China, talks that shit.
We gotta do something to China. I really believe this. Economic sanctions. We don't gotta go to war, but there gotta be economic
I
sanctions.
don't let them listen to this podcast over there. I drew a line in the sand, bro. Hey, I drew a line in the sand, guys. Hey, you gotta click the boxes. They're like, do you want them to listen to it in China? I said, nope. Nope. Real talk.
They ain't finding this shit on their Google.
They're not.
Fucking offensive ass podcast. There's no way they're listening to this in China.
But they listen to us in India though.
They do listen to us in
Bro,
India.
we
Shout
got
to
fans
India,
in
man.
India, yo. We got
What do y'all
fans.
call India?
What?
Oh, what do we call India?
What, did you just repeat the fucking question I just asked?
Yeah.
I didn't really understand the question, so I'm
Yeah.
feeling
What do
about
y'all
it.
call India?
Bharat.
Bharat?
That was the original name.
Okay, all right. What do you say? Like, God bless America is our slogan. What y'all got?
India's in the bud.
India's in the bud.
Yeah.
Say it again.
India's in the bud.
India's in the bud. I don't think y'all been in the bath at all, bro. I think that's one of the biggest issues with India. Y'all need a fucking bath.
Talk about us not showering, Gagnon sitting here growing fucking dreadlocks.
He's French.
Yeah, bro, come on. I was late.
No, he Canadian, dude. He's gay French.
That is true.
Can you be more
Quebecois.
gay than French?
Yeah, that makes you straight.
Son,
that makes you
Quebecois
straight.
gay, yo.
if you go double gay, does it make it straight?
Look, I'll tell you from experience, yes.
You cross the swords and then it comes back.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, dog. So for real, if any of y'all are still listening, bro, we stand with India. Flagrant 2 is rocking with India in this whole thing, okay? Until China wipes them out. And then China, we going to reconcile and do whatever we need.
I'm saying, yo, we need your support right now, yo. We need your support right now, yo. Come on, yo.
India, Islamabad. Wait, what is it? What is it? What is it?
India in the bag, son.
India's in the bag. India's in the bag. What is it?
Not Indians in the back. What the fuck are y'all talking about?
In the bag.
No.
How you say it?
Zindabad.
India, Zindabad. Man, I pronounced the pussy out of that. I really did, dude. India, Zindabad.
It's not that good.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time. You hick. You fucking farmer. It's your farmer ass accent. Like all these Indians listening to you right now. What part of the farm is he from? Yo, son, real talk. Yo, if you're Indian, listen to this podcast. Does Akaash not have a Pakistani accent?
That's fire.
I swear to God, I'll walk off this podcast right now. I'll walk off this podcast right now. I'll walk off this podcast right now.
Son, I was offended for that
Crossing
one.
lines, yo. Come on, yo.
Yo, okay, no, but seriously.
That's how you call a brown guy an Uncle Tom. An Indian? You want to call him an Uncle Tom? You call him a Pakistani.
Really?
Probably. I don't know.
Pakistan? Yo, I got a really cool announcement, man. I've been waiting to make this announcement for a while. We going back on the road, man. We are going back on the road. It's official. TheAndrewSchultz.com for the dates, the cities, the tickets. We're going to continue adding more as they get confirmed. A lot of the shows that we've, we couldn't do obviously because of Corona, we've rescheduled. So a lot of those are popping back up on it. But the first day back that we are out there on the road performing again is going to be in Kansas City, Missouri. Shout out to Missouri, the show me state, is it?
Son, I don't know.
It's the show me state. Yeah, we will. Better not show no Corona. Okay? We're going to be there the 26th and 27th at the Kansas City Improv, Kansas City, Missouri. Then we got Orlando, Florida. We're rescheduling those dates, the 17th to the 19th of July. So that will be there. Then we'll be in Raleigh, July 24th and 25th. Then we're going to be in Huntington. Oh, no. Actually, we're going to move the Huntington date. Long Island date we're going to move. But hey, we got plenty more. Syracuse, Albany, New Brunswick. Go check them out, theandrewschultz.com. We'll have all the dates. And obviously the stand-up special taping out there in LA is going to be in November 14th and 15th, I believe. So go to theandrewschultz.com, check out all those tickets, and we got this. All right, let's get back. Okay, nah, for real. Akaash, we've got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. There's been so many amazing things that have happened in the news. Do you know what I mean?
I just don't know what's coming. That's all.
That's the best part.
Yeah, you don't either.
No, I know, neither do I. But no, for real, dude. Like, what did y'all think about? Listen, we've tried to have this discussion about the Chappelle 846 thing. It's been very difficult. High stakes, because you don't want to criticize it because it seems like you're criticizing the thing that he's supporting, right? So it's very difficult to detach the art from the point that he's making because there's not a lot of art in it, right? It's not, if it was stand-up, you could criticize the stand-up jokes, but it's not stand-up. He's just talking about what's happening right now in our country, and he's saying things and speaking eloquently on it. So you don't want to criticize it because it seems like you're criticizing his point of view instead of criticizing the way that he's delivering it, right? Is that fair?
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
That's why I think it's so harsh, right? So I think the reaction a lot of people have, and I think we agreed to look at this through two lenses. One is our reaction to the piece, and the other is our reaction to people's reaction to the piece.
Yes.
Right? And it's really difficult because we're jaded in a way because our expectation from Chappelle is so fucking great.
Nothing less than mastery is acceptable. If you are not putting every point forward masterfully, it's not Chappelle.
And also keep this in mind for people who are listening. A lot of you guys haven't been in a room and watched Dave Chappelle for 6 hours straight, like Akaash and I have, and Alex has, and I think in LA you did it, or was it? Yeah, it was in LA, right? And Mark, I don't know if you ever saw a long set from Chappelle, but like,
it's amazing.
It is unreal his ability to like control a room and honestly control expectation and patience. You're not bored. He could talk for 6 hours and not bored. And Akaash, you were kind of bringing this up with the special, or not the special, with this piece, with this talk that he gave, 846, which was...
I thought it was good overall, but I was bored in the middle.
There were boring parts.
And and some of his points, I'm like, oh, that's the smoke you gave Candace Owens.
The Candace Owens smoke was like your pussy stinks undeniably weak. And again, it's so weird to even sit here and like criticize it. I almost feel like the only reason we're talking about this is because it was exalted by the people so much.
That's, I think, the issue. And I think some of us had a bigger issue with it than others.
Yeah. Me.
Comics are, and this is hypocritical because comics are like, this is what comedy should be. This is what it is. I thought it was a good special. It is not a good comedy special. It's not comedy.
It was a good talk.
And I will let Dave Chappelle do this because I respect his brilliance and he has the credibility built up. If you're some fucking loser at an open mic, this is not what comedy is. In the same way, we do not let Hannah Gadsby slide and say that's comedy. That's not comedy, neither is this.
Right, exactly. The criticism of Hannah Gadsby would be like, the people who agree with everything she's saying love her, and the people who don't agree are going to go, well, it's not funny enough for me to not agree. Right. And the amazing thing about comedy is that when a joke is funny, you cannot agree with the point of view, but it's so funny, you're willing to digest it. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's like when you make a horrible food out of like sugar.
Yeah.
You know how like sometimes people make a boot out of cake?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? And it's like, oh, fuck, I'm eating a boot, but I'm not. Like, that's what comedy can be. It can be this like sugary encasing for this thing that you would never eat in your life.
Right.
And I think maybe I was waiting for him to say stuff in a way that was so unimpeachable that people who completely disagreed with the support of Black Lives Matter and the support of this movement to like end police brutality and like give black people the equality they're supposed to have. I was waiting for him to put forward these masterful arguments, and I didn't see it based on a Chappelle level of mastery. Like, I like the Eric Dorner comparison. I thought that was really clever. This idea of like, and that is like a glimpse of what Chappelle does. He's
Chris
like,
Dorner?
Or sorry, it's Eric Garner, Chris Dorner. Yeah. So it's like, that's what he'll do. He'll take something and he'll go and he'll make you empathize. Let's say you're super supportive of the police. He'll take that empathy you have for the police and he'll find a way to position that for this person that might be your enemy.
Right.
And he did that. And granted, this is his first time on stage in months. I think that if he had another 3 weeks with that joke or that idea, that's a hilarious bit.
I don't even think rust is ever an issue for him. I think he is.
Well, there's a difference between rust and time working out a joke.
So I think he didn't even have the time. I think he felt like he needs to say something now, and he's had 3 weeks to come up with bits about this.
Right. But
so I wouldn't say 87 days. I'd say he has to put out content in 21 days.
Regardless, like if that's your first time on stage, just for people who don't understand
the bits
how comedy works.
Out. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like you start with an idea on stage and it's not that funny, but the idea is there.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a piece of wood. You slowly carve it and shape it into a sculpture.
Right.
And I feel like we had like the wood right there. Right. And again, it's like.
See, and that's a thought that I had that just came to me now.
Yeah.
You two are looking at it from comics POV.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like a fan.
Right.
And so I thought it was a little bit better than what you guys think. Of course, I don't think it's Chappelle's best piece, but I also don't look at this as a comedy special. I just look at this like a public speaking event.
Yeah.
As he talks on the issues going on, and then he just throws a little funny just to keep you, engaged with it.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Looking at it from that point of view, I thought it was okay. Like, I didn't hear anything new that I didn't already know.
I did think it was good.
Because he's such a great orator, it's like I was glued.
I did think it was good.
I wasn't glued.
To your point, in the middle, I was like, yo, he's losing me. And at the end, I've said this to y'all multiple times now, but this really hit me when he talked about, George Floyd calling for his mom and then his dad. He's only heard that one other time, his dad calling for his grandma. And at the end, he says, my dad's grandma was a slave. And like the recency of that fucking stuck with me.
Yeah.
And again, no one knows how long ago slavery was. We all kind of put it 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago. That I was like, holy fuck, slavery was mad recent. Like slavery, not separate water fountains. I'm talking about no water in the fields, mad recent. So like that affected me in a way that I was like, fuck. And that made it worth it for me. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm a little less harsh because maybe I just don't know history at all. I don't really care to, but that put it in a way to me that I was like, fuck.
If it was released by TED, if it was a TED Talk, would your reaction be different?
No.
It'd be the same.
Yeah, because what I missed from it were prolific arguments. And I'm used to him making such prolific arguments within his stand-up. For me, and Akaash and I might debate this, but like when I see the arguments in his stand-up, I'm like, that logic is so unimpeachable that I could present that to the most right-wing person or the most left-wing person, and both of them will sit there and go, nah, you got a point. And what I saw here was raw emotion. And sometimes you need to speak off emotion. I'm not saying there isn't a place for that. But what Chappelle did so beautifully, I think, in his career was like took that emotion and then carved it into these like beautiful arguments that did a lot of the intellectual heavy lifting for the people that will listen and watch them. And then you could take those arguments and then you could use them when you're debating your uncle who might not really be empathetic to this struggle. And I just didn't really see that here. So if it was a TED Talk, I'd be like, there wasn't enough TED. What I saw was, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't enough TED in it. So it was just a talk that I thought wasn't up to the standard of brilliance that Chappelle has. And if those arguments were made funny, I'd be like, all right, it was cool. I laughed. It was really fun. But then he didn't really put the effort to make them funny. So it was missing brilliance and missing funny. And I think I went into it because I saw the way people reacting to it. You got to see, this is the greatest thing ever. This will never be not spoken about. And it's no different than when you go into a movie and people say it's amazing. And you're like, wait a minute, wasn't it the greatest movie I ever seen? And now it seems like a letdown because my expectations were so high.
Yo, so two things. That's a big difference, actually, because the first things comics sent me, like Robbie Slovic, who I trust, was like, it's not comedy, still watch it.
Yep.
And then my girl had time to watch it before me, and she was like, she said the Hannah Gatsby thing. She was like, all right, don't shit on Hannah Gatsby and like this. And I was like, okay, so it's not going to be funny, and I know this. So
you went in with the right expectation.
So I went in knowing, okay, it's not going to be funny. And in the middle, I was like, yo, she might be right. I might have to give Chappelle that Hannah Gatsby smoke. Yeah. And then at the end, maybe I was so relieved there was something I could grab onto that I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, I don't got to do that. But two theories about why it wasn't carved out as beautifully as we would have hoped.
Yeah.
Mine is time. He just didn't have time, and he felt like, I have to say something. The country's at a fucking breaking point.
Yeah.
Two is Alex's theory that he presented earlier, and say that on the mic. What the editing and all that, like what he has in store.
Oh, yeah. I really feel that he had a performance, a full stand-up performance, and this was like the end of the performance where it's like he just talks to the crowd. So it's like he wasn't trying to deliver jokes.
And something that stuck with me when Al said that is, you know, like very early into the Chappelle set, he goes, are y'all bored yet? We've all seen Chappelle. When I see him doing 6 hours, he doesn't ask that shit for 4 hours. Yeah. Are y'all bored yet? So for him to say that 8 minutes in or whatever, I remember at the time being like, that's mad early for Chappelle to ask if we're bored.
Yep.
So that could be, he could have done a long set, knocked out some shit, and then at the end just been emotional, and that's all he put out. Yeah.
I think that Chappelle is moving towards, and I've said this before, just speaking and like being like almost like a teacher, and like he has such prolific thoughts that he can just talk to us about these things, and we see it in the past, and I've seen him do it live, etc. I just didn't see that prolific things being said about this. And look, I could be wrong, but I ask you guys that are, you know, listen to the podcast, like when you saw the arguments that he laid out or what he was talking about, like was there something that you were like, yo, I didn't look at it that way outside of the Dorner, what's Chris Dorner thing?
Chris Dorner.
Outside of the Chris Dorner thing, I don't. Was there something that you were like?
Again, for me, the end.
The end. I get why that resonated with you, because I remember once my dad was telling me. My dad did this documentary on this guy. I forget his name, but he told a story about. He was this jazz musician, and he told a story about his mom. I believe his mom, the jazz musician, super old.
Yeah. I
believe his mom seeing Abraham Lincoln walk through D.C.
Yeah, that's crazy.
After slavery was abolished. And
she one of the last people to see this dude.
Now, I wonder if it was his grandma, but I believe it was his mom. This guy has already passed. But when he said that to me,
yeah,
I got that feeling you got, which was, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This is not that long ago.
Yeah.
So maybe the reason that didn't affect me in the same way is because I've heard that story, but Chappelle putting it in that way, I could see how it really affected you, and it can really put in context to other people who are not sympathetic to the black plight in America. They're like, yeah, why don't you get over that shit? It's like, it's new still.
Right.
Okay, I see that there. I don't know, positives. What are the positives?
Chappelle said something. That's a positive.
Yeah.
I thought the Candace Owens point was actually pretty decent. Like, obviously the roast of her was trash, but like when Candace Owens raises this point where she goes, black people are the only group of people that sort of like exalt or uphold and make martyrs of the worst of our group.
Yeah.
And that we constantly like praise and make t-shirts out of these people that are criminals and, rob people. And like, why do we choose these people? And then Chappelle says, we don't choose them. You choose them. The cops choose them.
Yeah, the cops.
That was a great
them.
point,
Yeah.
and I probably forgot about it because at that point I was like, "This is smooth."
Yeah, the Candace Owens roast was trash.
Yeah.
I would almost rather him not roast her because it, I think, clouded that point.
Right. And then his only roast of her was like, she's so articulate.
And then the stinky pussy thing.
Right. But like, he was like complimenting her at the same time. I was like, I felt conflicted as to what he's trying to say.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Candace handled that shit beautifully, bro.
She's smart, dude. She's not dumb. That was what Chappelle said. She's not dumb.
If y'all didn't see the way she handled it, she didn't like criticize, she didn't push back. She was just like, she's like, to every Democrat tweeting me the clip of Dave Chappelle insulting me, I'm not a leftist. I have a sense of humor. I think comics should make fun of people. Dave Chappelle is one of the greatest comedians of all time, and I made it into one of his specials. That's power. And then she says some other shit like, I hope that, we meet sometime and you could say that stuff to my face, and then like winky face. Smile. Yeah. But like, she chose to take the road of, I'm going to laugh at this, allow it to happen, instead of being all butthurt.
Yeah.
And then she actually looks good.
Yeah.
Coming out of it. Mm-hmm. Whereas like, if he leaned into that idea and then leaned into the caricature that she is, and how the people on the right hold her up as a token so that all of their arguments can be filtered through her, so that they can't be called racist for having.
I guarantee you, if you ask him about Candace Owens, he has a great opinion on Candace Owens.
So why? Let's hear that.
I know, and I don't. That I agree with. I agree with that. It's like, what is? And that point is a great point. We don't want these people to be our heroes. You do this. That's a great point.
You think he's saving it for a stand-up bit? You think he's got like a bit?
Probably.
Because we do that. We're on the road. We release some of the stuff, but we're like, nah, don't keep that. That's going to be a bit. We're going to put that in the next special. And maybe he has some real Candace smoke, but he's like, ooh, no, let me carve that out. That's going to be the one that, like, puts the machete.
And this could be proof. I also thought this could be proof, as I was watching it, of what you've said, which is I think he's transitioning out of stand-up.
Yes.
And I don't think he is Malcolm or Martin, but I think when people say, like, who's our guy, he has the potential to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
In that it might not be the same level, but that's who we got right now. And I think this is him maybe getting comfortable with stepping out of, because humor for all of us is a defense mechanism.
Yes.
So maybe for him it was, let me get my points across through humor, and this is him kind of shedding away the defense mechanism of humor, and it's, let me just put forth my emotion.
Yo.
And we'll carve it out from there.
I like that slow transition. We've seen him do it, right? He did it at the, I think, Mark Twain.
Yeah.
He did it, he's been doing it a bunch of different places, just kind of like talking, but also talking funny. And I've always said, it's like, I'd love Chappelle to just be a teacher.
Yeah.
I don't think that this was, what he said was at the level of
his specials.
Even his specials. Like, I would rather listen to his arguments from his specials without the punchlines. Like, I think some of the arguments in the specials without the punchlines were so prolific. Even when he did the Bird revelation, there weren't a lot of punchlines in it.
She was incredible.
But it was masterful. If you compare this to that, there's a different level of mastery going on. We can acknowledge that, right?
Yo, I'm going to say something that's going to sound blasphemous.
Go.
But Sticks and Stones wasn't up to the level of his other stuff. So is it just...
Oh.
Come on, son.
We got to present all of the arguments. To me, that's the GOAT. But Sticks and Stones, I remember kind of thinking the same thing. Like, these aren't ideas I haven't heard before. And I expected more comedy special from Sticks and Stones. This, I was thinking like...
Yeah, you weren't a fan of Sticks and Stones.
I wasn't a massive fan. It was good, and I'm glad Chappelle's the guy carrying that torch forward. It helps all of us.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, we've said this stuff. And Chappelle, I'm not a genius by any stretch. If I have the same point as Chappelle, I don't look at me smarter. I look at Chappelle like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the hell's going on here?
I don't know, I think Sticks and Stones, it was a bar when he said, like, he can't say maggot, but he could say nigga.
on
the Chappelle
network execs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, you can't say maggot because you're not gay. He's like, well, I'm also not a nigga.
Yeah, but a gay person could say the F word, and if she said the same argument, he'd be like, yeah, well, I'm not an F word. See what I'm saying? Like,
the thing with that joke is the argument on the surface seemed great because it satisfied our emotions.
Yeah.
But if you actually kind of like peel it apart, you're like,
so is the gay person an F word?
Yeah,
because he's not, but he can
she's
still say
basically
it.
saying like you have the license to use the bad words that are attributed to you, but you don't have the license to use the bad words that are attributed to people who aren't you. But he phrased it as if she was calling him the N-word. Yeah. So he kind of like sacrificed her for the joke. And I thought the joke was really good. And this is one of the beautiful things about stand-up. It doesn't have to be the court of law.
No.
That can be like a really fun fucking bit and a great point.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for not.
Yeah, we really ruined that.
You ruined that for me. I thought that shit was
and maybe we ruined it for other people, but maybe that's also like the way that's the standard we hold up to Chappelle to. For me.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he's the greatest living comedian,
and I still
man.
think, I think, and I love Patrice, but just the Chappelle, I just think, GOAT. Like, I just do. And maybe Patrice is right underneath him or whatever, but like, that doesn't take away from his greatness. It just, that's what I saw. You're still great. Yeah. And the thing that was special about this, if you want to call it a special, I'm not calling it comedy. If you want to call it a special, the thing that was special was Dave Chappelle showing us a side of himself he's never shown us.
Right.
And the timing, and he spoke out, and that's kind of what made it special, and that's it.
Right.
And I don't mean that like, fuck, this is a piece of trash, but like, if we're going to call it a special, that's why it's special, and that's how I can compartmentalize it. Because it wasn't special in its content necessarily throughout. It wasn't special in the fact that it was hilarious.
Why do you think people felt the need, especially like our comics friends, to like talk about how prolific it was?
He's our Trump, man.
He's our Trump. Oh, like no matter what he does, it's good.
Yeah, but he's much, and I'm not saying he is Trump at all. I think he's the greatest. But a Trump supporter, anything Trump does is brilliant. Chappelle earned that with us, but anything he does is brilliant.
So we're looking at him through like,
and he earned it. That's different than Trump. Trump
glasses or something like that.
Rose-colored glasses.
Yeah,
and he deserves it. He's earned that.
Yeah.
I really believe like if a guy overrates Chappelle, cool, just don't think you got the same license. That's my only advice to comics. If you think this is what comedy should be, this is what Dave Chappelle is allowed to be. You are not.
Yeah, you're gonna be asking if people are bored a lot too.
They're gonna have been left.
Bro,
where are you guys going?
There's a protest. We gotta get Yeah, man. All right. Well, I think that's a more productive discussion than we had earlier. I think we got to talk about it. You know, like obviously you guys listen to the podcast. You want to hear our perspectives on these things. And yeah, man. Yo, I saw a fire ass movie. Wall-E.
Bro, I couldn't watch it. They don't talking in that bitch.
Son, that's how useless actors are. Actors are fucking useless.
Okay, I'm on board. Talk to me.
This is why we shouldn't listen to a single fucking thing any of them say. There's a movie called Wall-E, okay?
Right.
This guy, it's a movie about a robot called Wall-E.
Right.
And then another one called Eve. They don't speak English. Mm-hmm. They just say their names. That's the whole movie. That's it. And it's cartoons. You don't need actors for anything. Did you see the movie, Al?
I did see the movie.
I couldn't make it
like
through,
it?
Yo.
I don't think...
This motherfucker cleaning up litter for 30 minutes.
It didn't stick with me, so it wasn't that great.
Say again?
It didn't stick with me, so it wasn't that great. Like,
Man, that movie was touching,
No,
bro.
people feel this. I was like, this shit is boring,
But a whole
son.
movie with no acting, no words... That's not amazing, bro. That's like silent films back in the day. You really didn't need them to talk.
Yo, we can't even call that a talkie. Like, that's how old-fashioned this movie is. This is 100 years ago.
100 years ago, little Mexican robot cleaning up the fucking earth, right? And then this white savior comes down. Yo, real talk. That's what the movie is. White savior comes down, finds a little plant the Mexican found. You know what I mean?
I didn't even make it to the people.
Takes that back to the white people. White people are like, oh, there's land. Real talk. This is Christopher Columbus, bro. That's really what this whole movie's about. The white people are just up in the, just floating around in the sea of the, space or whatever it is. They found some land, went, took that shit over. Wall-E, fell in love.
We got to take down some
With
of
the
these
white lady?
Wall-E statues.
Say
man.
again?
We got to take down some of these Wall-E statues.
Yo,
dog.
bro, you can't take down Wall-E, dog. That shit is,
Nah,
dude.
dog.
I'm telling you, man. Y'all gotta check out.
I couldn't make it through, yo. In the beginning, so fucking boring.
Nah, because you don't know what's going on.
I don't want to not know what's going on for 30 minutes.
I actually love that. That's my favorite part of the movie.
Man, you out, yo. How
Say
you get,
again?
yo? Don't fucking sit there and say Chappelle bored you, and then you watch Wall-E for 30 minutes and
Son,
still gave it a chance.
That's why he
Get the
bored
fuck outta
me.
here, yo.
That's why he bored me, because I knew what was going on. My favorite part of the beginning of a movie is when I don't know what's going on and they stretch that shit out for a long time. I don't know what happened right there. I don't know. God,
Your body
God called me
rejecting your
bullshit.
lie, yeah.
God called me bullshitting, bro. God called me bullshitting, bro.
Got a ghost dick or
No,
something.
shit. That was some weird shit. No, but in all seriousness, I don't know what the device it is in a movie. I guarantee there's a name for the device where the beginning just confuses you. You don't know exactly what's happening. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh man, but 30 minutes.
No, but I know, like, a lot of movies do that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is happening here? With the Chappelle thing, I knew what was happening.
Okay. Here it is.
What?
Here it is sometimes.
Why?
Right.
I thought the movie was great.
This me. Now I'm like, you like Wall-E? That shit was trash, yo.
That's what he does. He cleans fucking trash. What do you want? All right, we're gonna take a break for a second, man. Keep your hair. Keep your hair, everybody. I got some granola trying to sneak out my mouth. Keep your hair though, for real, man. Listen, balding's a choice now. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's a fact. It's a choice. You know, so you got to get in there before it goes away. And the way we do that on this podcast, and by we I mean me, is with Keeps. Keeps, an amazing company. I've been on the same active ingredient that's in Keeps for probably 10 years. As you can tell, beautiful head of fucking hair. You know, literally the number one determinant factor for a man if he ages well is if he has a full head of hair. Simple as that. If a guy with a full head of hair, they're like, oh, he looks great for his age. A guy with no hair, doesn't matter how old he is, they're like, oh, fucking, you're going through it. You're rough. So I would recommend getting on it. Simple as that. You just go to Keeps. All you got to do is keeps.com/flagrant. I'm recommending something to you guys that I've been using for 10 years. Maybe more than
He
that.
has. He truly has.
We live together.
I saw you make this decision.
And did it not get my shit popping?
100%. You got a little hair regrowth.
I got some regrowth.
You got a little hair regrowth.
You know, it's like that Blue Chew effect with Al. Al
The fuck is my Blue Chew effect, yo?
Anyway, so yo, go check out Keeps, man. Keeps, KEEPS.com/flagrant. Keep your hair, grow some back, get back in the game. You know what I mean? Leave your wife. No, don't do that. Keep her. All right, let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the podcast.
Okay.
This is something that I would like to take a little victory on this week.
Okay.
Oh, I know. There we go.
Your guy's girl. Your guy's girl, the most talented woman on the internet, B. Simone.
Yeah.
I said, was it on Patreon? I said it. I think it might be on Patreon. I said these types cannot have a career in doing this. You can't have a career just smacking your lips on the fucking Instagram. Okay, what is that fucked up? You can't say that.
Yeah.
No, bruh.
Oh, okay. All right.
What is it? Why is that wrong to say?
Black people, big lips. They might
Son,
correlate.
shut
that.
up.
I'm just.
Why are you searching for the outrage?
I'm trying to save you, motherfuckers, man. Fine. Say everything.
Nah, save me, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even when I said it, I was like, wait, is that racist?
No, yo.
It can be easily taken the wrong way.
No, they just be doing
Fuck.
that.
You know what? While we're talking about people who take shit the wrong way, she stole her entire book, right?
Yeah, she took her whole book from someone else.
Real talk.
She did loot that.
So
book.
last week we were talking about her.
Yo, I lost this one.
What?
I'm
So
out here defending this bitch.
you were defending this bitch. What were you saying?
I was-
I just said, and it was based on the book. I was like, yo, she got. I don't think
was
she's
based
funny.
on the book,
I said, I don't think she's funny, but she done wrote a book. She said she's gonna be fine. She's a smart girl.
Yeah.
I didn't know the book was just stolen from somebody else.
Because these people don't have it.
Bruh,
you need a certain amount of talent and a certain amount of work ethic to get this shit done. And you don't do that when you just steal an
And she
entire
didn't do
book.
work, and she ain't got no ethics. So,
So it's done. But it was mad fun when Meek Mill tried to defend her.
what the fuck is Meek Mill doing?
Bro, Meek Mill was like, white people have been stealing our culture and stealing us for years, and now you're gonna, come down on this girl for doing that shit. And it's like, what was your argument against Drake?
The whole time.
What was your Drake argument?
That's hilarious.
You got a ghostwriter.
That's hilarious.
You are stealing Drake shit, whatever it is. So it's like, man, what's really funny is like, people don't realize when they go from like hip hop to activism, no one calls you on your shit in hip hop. Because hip hop is wrestling, right? So if you're like, I'm out in the streets, I'm shooting people, I'm selling drugs, I'm fighting, I'm doing all this shit, we're like, yeah. Do that. Yeah. Randy Orton, are you RKOing your wife? Sick. Nobody's going, you didn't really RKO her, and it was set up, and she was just hanging by the pool, and that's really convenient. We want to believe the wrestling.
Yeah.
So when you go from wrestling to real life, motherfuckers are going to call you on your shit, and now they got to make arguments to actually stand up. And they're not used to making arguments to stand up. They're just going, all right, what would sound the most fire right here?
Yeah.
I'm woke. I'm with it. I'm an activist. What's the most fire thing to say? Support all black women, even if they be stealing.
That shit sounds like bars.
It sound hot, right?
And the second somebody's like, wait, what?
Wait, what about Drake? He's a black woman. You just gonna let him? Why you not gonna let him steal? I mean, you done called him a bitch so many times. He better be a woman.
Yo, real talk. He got feelings like a woman.
He got feelings. He be singing in his shit.
Yo, I'm saying.
He says, "I got my eyes on you." Is that the song?
Yeah.
I got my eyes on you.
Yeah.
That's a womanly thing to do.
Yo, leave me alone,
Or
Drake.
a rapist.
Yeah.
You either a woman or a predator to say some shit like, I got my eyes on you. Yo, they gotta reshoot reshoot the whole video. Geez, he's just in a bush in a park. I got my eyes on you.
Yo, you think Cosby's one eye just went cockeyed so he could look at other bitches that he was finna rape? Always have no matter who he's talking to, he's looking at bitches that he can rape.
I've got my eye on you. Yo, where's Cosby during all this shit? Fuck Chappelle special. What Cosby got to say about all this? I told you should have worn your pants higher.
Oh my god.
You think he gets
Cosby.
raped in jail?
Say again?
Hell no, dog. Put some respect on Cosby's name, yo. Fuck out of here, dog.
You don't think he catching him rapes?
No, son.
I know he got his pants high, bro. Maybe that's why he got his pants high. Because he knew what happens to him eventually.
Son, I heard that's how sagging started. It was like some jail culture
well-
shit to let people know you were down to get fucked or something like that.
No, not
Oh, bro.
It was just because they didn't have the right sizes. So
It was one size fits all gear.
Why don't you just tie that rope tighter? I bet Cosby ain't sagging. Tie that rope tighter.
Because they got to take that rope off and make fucking spaghetti out of it or some shit. You know, out there, useful out
there's
there.
no rope.
Resourceful ass.
Son, is every inmate like an Eagle Scout?
Son, what?
That motherfucker just a survivor, you know what I mean?
What's up?
Getting merit badges.
Bro, it's so true how amazingly prolific. Like, you know what really goes to show me? Them motherfuckers on that show Survivor ain't shit. And the motherfuckers on that show Naked and Afraid ain't shit.
You right.
Because these jail dudes, within a week, they're finding ways to make a Bunsen burner on the bottom of the bed, and the bed turns into a hot plate, and they can turn ramen into fucking sandwiches and shit. They're finding ways to talk to each other through the toilets. They got all this crazy shit that they could do. And 28 days later, they got a whole pond full of fish, can't catch a goddamn fish.
Yo, the real Naked Afraid is just a prison shower. That's it. Hey.
Yo, son, Naked and Afraid, the prison shower. That's a
Son,
fire episode.
I gotta
son.
watch that one.
Oh my
That's a must-see.
God,
Yo.
bro. Real talk. Why haven't dudes in prison found a way to make a butt plug?
That's a good ass
What?
point.
They just push that shit in. So,
They push it further?
yeah.
Probably,
You don't
yeah,
think
you're
they
right about
clench trying to stop the rape? Like
I think
motherfuckers
dudes
just force
do.
that.
That's the thing. Like, and I'm not trying to put this out there in the world.
All right.
I'm not trying to put this out there in the world. But you're not getting in here, bro.
Son,
You're not getting in
you
here,
might
bro.
wanna cut that.
I would have to be
You might
unconscious.
wanna cut
I'd
that.
have to be unconscious, and you'd have to use saliva. How are you gonna slide it in?
I don't think they're
How
concerned.
you gonna slide it in?
I don't think they're concerned with lubrication. Like, I don't think if you're,
I don't know
think if
how
you're
it
going
could
to
go
ass,
in. I
you
don't
need
know
a lot
how
of
it could go in.
moisture.
I don't know how it could go in. Maybe I'm tighter than y'all.
Have you tested the tightness of your asshole?
I put a little finger up in there. I've wiped and I've gone a little up in there. Or if I'm taking out them dingle burrs, if I'm taking out them dingle burrs in the shower, I've pulled a dingle burr from inside or some toilet paper that got stuck.
Son,
What? I have.
you be having gay sex with yourself, son? That's wild.
Come
bro.
on, docs. Come on, docs. I just go to that first nuck if we buck,
Yeah,
bro.
that's an Asian, that's an Asian dick right there.
I'll just first nuck, dog. Exactly, dude. Exactly, dude. For real. I'm just saying, you think a guy is going to be able to push his whole dick in you, dude?
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm gonna be honest. Yes.
How does it work, dog? I really don't know.
I don't want to find out.
Too bad. All right.
Have you ever shit your pants before?
Say again?
Have you ever shit your pants before?
Yep.
And
on a bicycle.
I'm pretty sure you were holding it, and it still got out. So if it can get out, it can get in.
That's not true.
Yes, it can.
What about Venus flytraps?
what?
Or the Chinese finger traps?
You think the asshole's a Chinese finger trap?
Yes,
So
dude.
it's easy to get in, but you can't get it out?
Yes, the shit can come straight out, but it's not supposed to go back in unless
like-
it gets to a certain point, and then it goes all the way. And I learned that from taking those pills in my butt. Those whenever I had the hemorrhoid,
You expose it too much.
I put pills in my butt
Why?
because it's for
Yeah,
hemorrhoids.
hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
Yo, that was too much for Mark. He's
You
like,
learned-
yeah, I'm good.
who told you to put pills in your butt?
Well, it's tough for me to swallow.
What's gayer? It's
So I feel like I just put it right to the source
What's
where
gayer?
it needs
Is
it.
what's gayer is I can swallow anything, or it's tough for me to swallow. Put it in my butt.
Yo, I think mad dudes can swallow, but they front like they can't. Like they're like, oh, it's hard for me to swallow pills, but it's like, nah. You just think that's a gateway drug. Like, you know, like you swallow one of them
that's
big
funny.
ass like brown vitamins that comes in that like almost opaque jar.
Yeah.
You know the shits? What are they
Yeah.
called? Y'all used to sell them
Omega 3s?
Yeah.
omega 3s.
Yeah.
Fish oil?
They make them mad big, bro.
Yeah.
What's the point of all
It's a
that?
soft gel though. It's easy.
No, I'm talking about the hard ones. They feel like
yeah,
they're like
yeah.
wood chips.
That multivitamin?
Is that multivitamin?
Yeah.
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 What, dude?
Dude.
All right, what else we got?
We got this black ass bachelor.
Yo, what if Chappelle's whole thing was about the black bastard?
Now that I'll tune in for.
My man look a little corny to me.
But what's the deal?
So for the first time, I believe in 19 years of the Bachelor history, they have their first black bachelor.
Okay.
The timing seems a little.
Well, they had a
Maybe
black
it just took-
bachelorette.
Yeah, maybe it just took a while to find one without a kid.
Yo, son. No, but there was a black bachelorette.
Yeah.
I remember. I watched her season.
Like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
I forget her name.
All
She was a
right.
beast.
But didn't the show start as the Bachelor, and then they switched over to the
Yeah.
Bachelorette?
Sure, but like the reason why there hasn't been a black bachelor, I think, since or bachelorette since, is because she had the lowest rated season.
Oh,
Yeah, but
word?
that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This shit gonna be low too.
Was
Ain't
she?
nobody watching
Did
that.
she look good?
Yo,
did they
if-
pick like the?
I'm not
whack-
saying America's
the whack
racist,
black
but
girl?
Bachelor fans are racist.
Yeah,
That's a fact. Like
that's the racist part of America. watching that
America's
show.
Bachelor fans
America's
are racist.
not racist, but the higher rated show on television, they're racist.
Yeah.
All right, so
100%, bro. For real. Son, the lowest rated season was this black girl. And she was dope. She was like a lawyer. She's smart as fuck. She's not one of these like
cute?
dumb bimbos. Yeah, she's pretty. Pretty.
you crack. I mean, in back in the day.
Back in the day when I cracked, I mean, I've taken down some fucking ducklings, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, is to me, would I crack? Yeah. You know what I mean? Some girls have gotten a lick off of me, bro. You know what I mean? Real
They're
talk.
so proud of it. It's their greatest
Bro,
achievement.
no, I
yo.
took down some fucking Voldemorts. I took down some beasts,
They
bro.
put a multivitamin in your ass, bro.
Nah, you know, I never had a girl put anything in my ass. Tongue got licked.
Yeah,
I got that lick.
that tongue's good.
But yeah, so they're upset at this guy because they wanted this other guy.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
yeah.
I watched
apparently.
that season. You know,
Was he
Mike.
good?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody seemed to like him. I didn't get it.
Yo, yeah.
So here's the thing, and this is, and correct me if
You're
I'm
just
wrong.
not in a relationship.
Nah,
Yeah, I know.
You
This
get
is
in a
wild,
relationship,
son.
you're gonna find out about
He
the
is in a
Bachelor.
whole relationship.
Harry
That's
Potter.
the thing.
Our relationships aren't real, son.
That's true. They really
That
not
shit is like
real.
the wand he bought at Universal, where it's like, yeah, that's a wand. It don't have none of the like reality of a wand.
Harry Potter.
That's an hour
and The
relationship,
Bachelor.
you know what I mean?
That's what y'all
Son,
doing.
Al,
son.
just get back in a relationship, bro.
Son, Harry
I
Potter.
mean, you are
and
in a
The
relationship.
Bachelor,
Son, if
that's
that
what
white
you
girl
gotta do.
stayed in the U.S. for 2 more years, you'd know what's going on in The Bachelor. You don't watch every episode. You come in the room, it's on. You sit down, you leave. You know what's going on.
Yo,
Yeah,
it's-
but you remember the dudes that were on
I
there.
remember the black dude that was on it. Obviously,
Respect.
fine ass.
So why didn't they pick that dude?
So I have a theory about this.
I have a theory about this too.
You go first.
Okay, I think that I think the other guy has more black features.
Ooh,
And this guy
he looks soft.
This guy is black, but he's racially ambiguous in his face. So like his features don't look specifically black. Now the
I thought
other
he could
guy,
be a dark-skinned Indian. When I saw
yeah,
him.
he could be Indian, he could be Latino. You're not exactly sure. He's kind of like one of those shampoo commercials where they like have the girl, you know what race she is. So all races could be like, oh, Head and Shoulders works
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that that's what they did. I think they did a lot of testing. The other guy on paper is actually perfect. He's like a wealth manager. He was in the Air Force. He's like the ideal American husband, right? But I think that his features are more black, and I think that these fucking racist execs, or maybe they're not even racist, but maybe these execs that are
catering to the fan base.
the racist fans are like, oh, I'm not going to watch it because I don't see myself marrying him, or I don't see myself in him. And this is a real thing. White
sucks,
girls
man.
watch
That's
this shit.
whack.
I want to say something that like has happened to my friends and I've experienced. White girls fuck black guys, they date black guys, and then they hit their late 20s, and that's the I want to settle down age, and then they stop doing it. And I've had friends that have gone through this. I'm not gonna shout out the homies, but like they've literally experienced like just banging white chicks all the time. They love them. It's a great thing. They dated, relationships, etc. And then as he's gotten older, all of a sudden, the age range of girls that he's been fucking hasn't really elevated with his age. Because the white girls in that age are like, I kind of want to settle down with this white guy. Like, I know I'm woke and I'm progressive and we did all this shit, but that was my fun time. I want to have a white husband and do my white picket fence, etc. And this show is aspirational. This show is who would I marry? How do I see myself in these person's shoes? And because the other guy I think looked a little bit more whatever traditionally black, whatever fucking bullshit that means.
Yeah.
I think they're like, no, throw a racially ambiguous guy out there. Maybe they could see themselves with him.
That's interesting. Do you think that's more pressure from the actual girl or from the family?
Fan base.
No, family.
Oh.
Like why the girls stop dating black guys when they want to settle down.
I think it's
I
both.
usually think it's pressure from the family.
I think it's family, but I think it's also like culture trickles down. So I think like that pressure of the family ends up
That makes
becoming
sense to
who
me.
they are. Just like racists breed more racist.
Though, devil's advocate,
Yeah.
So this guy that was on The Bachelor before, made it really far, was really popular, wouldn't it theoretically hold over if he became The Bachelor? Like, people already like him, he has cachet, you know him.
Yep.
Done that hold some sway?
100%. It absolutely could. And they could be making a huge mistake. Or again, these executives are making these moves just to keep their jobs.
Yeah, I think they're fucking up.
Yeah, and I think they could be fucking up because they could be, and I could be misinterpreting how supportive they would be towards that other guy.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think there's like a couple things. I think that's probably true. But this dude had, so like the way like The Bachelor works, I guess, is like there's like a community that happens once you're in the shit.
Yeah.
Like you become a part of the like this greater zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So he was on the football team with another guy that was supposed to win. So like this dude Tyler Cameron was supposed to win. He was like the favorite, and then he lost. And this dude was like his best friend, like off the show.
And
so
he
like
fucked up, yo.
yeah, it's for real. So he got this cosign from the guy that was supposed to win, and then on top of that, the girl that girl Hannah Brown said the N-word on a live,
Yeah.
and then got a bunch of heat for like
She
the
rapped
whole,
along to a song and said that.
Yeah.
That's
White girl?
important to clarify
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but
the
like
whole
got a
Bachelorette.
ton of heat from like the Bachelor fan base and all these people going crazy. This is like before George Floyd, even like 2
Right.
weeks. And then as a result of all like the Bachelor heat, Black Lives Matter, all that shit, they were like, all right, we have to pick a black dude. And I don't think they necessarily wanted someone that's already been on the show that has like baggage that like goes along with being on the show.
But Michael doesn't have baggage, apparently. Apparently everybody loved him. He got far, and he was like super enjoyed and super like, I literally think like on the executive level of these shits, because they have no talent, these execs, they just run everything through focus groups.
Focus group.
And they focus grouped Michael, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and then they
he
focus
has
group
enough.
this guy, and they're like, who would you see yourself with? Who do you see yourself in? And then all the guys that watch are like, yeah, I probably relate more to that guy because literally his face is just similar looking in shape. And if the audience that watches it is 80% white or 90% with some absurd amount white, I think that they're like, okay, let's just go with this guy. And it could be wrong.
What did you mean he's supposed to win? Like this, it's rigged already?
No.
But like
She literally picked a guy who like broke up with a girl in the middle of the show that he was dating throughout the show, and she has text messages of him being like, yo, I got to do this. It's good for my career. That guy won. And then this other guy started fucking Giselle or something like that after. Not Giselle. Who's the Gia Hadid or something like that?
Yeah.
Like he's running through bitches now. He's like a guy. She started following him off of the show. They went on dates.
Yo,
like,
how do you get on The Bachelor, son?
Yeah. Wait, who fucked who?
Am I white
that
black
guy
enough?
Tyler C. fucked with Gia Hadid. Who's the one that's with fine ass Zayn Malik? Motherfucker fine, dog.
Gigi Hadid.
Gigi Hadid.
Yeah.
She pregnant right now, though.
Yeah. I think they were like on again, off again or something. They like went out on dates. There's like pictures. My girl keep me posted. Thank God she settled down with fine ass Zayn. You know what I mean? Good for you, Gigi.
Is he
You
Indian?
won. Hey, half. I'll take it.
That's a come up. But she probably Indian too or something like that. She's Muzzy, I think.
He's half Muslim, I think.
Hadid. Yeah.
Nah, but just like to make up for all the years they didn't have black people, he should start with 1 and end with 30.
He should start with 1.
Yeah, start with 1 girl and end with all 30. Like you got to make up for all the years that we didn't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything that would look worse for black men than cheating on 30 women at once? At the end of the show, like that's how it ends.
I mean, you want to be authentic.
Yo, while we're talking about rape, can you tell us about the? Can you tell us about the? Can you tell us about the Uncle? What's it? Russell Simmons documentary. Can you break that down? Apparently, there's this Russell Simmons documentary that like mad girls are coming out talking about him, and his defense is, I was fucking way finer girls. Like literally, apparently his defense is nah, I was fucking models back then. Like if you saw the pussy I was getting back then.
So it's pretty hilarious. So he's like tone deaf in terms of just like with regular
deaf,
people.
Literally Def Jam is this
Oh
shit.
my god!
But yeah, so HBO has some documentary. It was I think,
Is that why he calls it
Oprah.
Def Jam? Because he's deaf and then he just jams his dick.
No, what'd you say? I can't hear you.
He's deaf to the nose. So he's been telling us this whole time. Who names a music label Deaf? Bro, go on.
So
Hilarious. I didn't hear him. I didn't.
yeah. Nah, just a quick story. HBO
What's
they had a
the deal with
music.
hearing?
They had a documentary about Russell
Trash
Simmons and
ass
all the women that alleged he like were misconduct or rape, things of that nature.
Yeah.
He denies everything. The only one he has compassion for just one girl in the whole thing, and he's like, oh yeah, I can understand how she felt like scared in that moment because like when she got in my car and then the doors locked and she thought she was in danger, and I was like, but this is the 90s, you know, like you get in cars and the doors just automatically lock, so I can see how she might have misconstrued that time in the car or whatever. But it's like out of all the girls making these accusations, he only cares about one single girl.
Also, he's been in Thailand.
Yeah, where you can't what's it called, like detain somebody.
And you know what he's been doing? Extradite.
Yeah, you can't extradite.
And you know what he's been doing while he's in Thailand?
Fucking these trannies.
No.
Huh.
Yoga.
He been talking about yoga for 20 years, and I didn't believe that shit ever.
I'm starting to believe there's a correlation between rape and yoga.
Oh yeah, that yoga
It's
thing.
not just Indians, guys.
Yo, that's how India's gonna take over the.
Bro, that's your defense
Hold
against
on.
the Chinese, bro.
I know that's what he was saying, that they would go rape him. But think about it. What did America just recently get and appropriate from India?
Yoga?
Yoga, right? What did America recently start doing a lot?
Rape?
What?
I think.
How you start and not even know what direction you go?
Hold on now.
right.
Hold on now. Think about it, right? Me Too movement pops up. All these rapes were happening in what? The 80s, 90s, 2000s? When does yoga get here? 80s. Pops up 90s, 2000s. I think y'all imported that rape.
Look, man, I can't support you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, you run with this. I want you to do you.
Okay.
I just can't be Indian and then be like, you're right. So you do you.
I'm
and
just
I won't
saying.
disprove anything, but you go.
I'm just saying there's
Okay.
a lot of things here, right?
Hey, Al, you want to speak
What's
more
the
on
first position? Downward dog,
this? That's actually a good point.
right?
You know what I mean?
And then they give you a position that like makes it look like you're fighting back. Warrior 1. Right? And then, that doesn't work. Warrior 2. You know what I mean?
Child's pose.
And then when you're in the shower
shit.
and just trying to wash it all off, child's pose. Bro, it's not yoga, dude. It's a complete rape cycle.
Yeah. Beginning to end.
Dude, I know you can't get on board with
I
this.
can't, but hey, I'm not disproving it.
So what do you think happens with him? Do you think he ever comes back? Like, what do you think this is all
Oh
about?
yeah, another part I forgot to mention. So he said like, he doesn't even care about the media. He doesn't care about public opinion. He's only cares about what his daughters think. And so to prove to his daughters that he's telling the truth, he took 9 lie detector tests. Does that sound like a person who's just trying to prove his innocent or who's practicing how to pass a lie detector test?
Oh, that's great.
So fucking, I took 1 PSAT, dog. This motherfucker took 9.
Oh my God, yo.
Like, real talk, 9 though?
Probably failed the first 8.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like,
when,
run that shit back.
when do you take 9 at anything if you're doing it right the first time? Name one thing
fuck,
you
that's a
repeat
great
9
point.
times if you're doing it right.
Oh, fuck.
Son, and
I
he
did
said
not
this
catch that.
publicly in an interview like he was doing something good.
You know what that feels like? You know when you're at the carnival game and you try to throw the little ring on the fucking milk bottle? And you just keep telling the guy, run it back, yo. No, I got it this. I didn't rape them all this time.
Oh, yeah.
Son is wild. Son.
What you think, Mark?
Do you believe the accusers more, considering that like they're coming out against a prominent black man like this week?
Yo.
Yeah, but this kind of came out a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So why is all the news breaking now?
Just because a
The documentary just dropped, probably.
Yo, HBO's wild for dropping that documentary right now, B.
Son, they don't give a fuck, yo.
But I think they tried to
literally-
hide it.
Say
because
what?
I think they tried to hide it.
Because they put it on HBO Max.
Yeah, that new
Yeah.
shit that nobody had.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair
Wait,
enough.
how is that different than HBO Go and
I have
HBO
nobody
whatever?
knows.
No idea.
They're really
Nobody-
dropping the ball on this
Yeah.
one. Nobody
They
knows.
are, bro. And that's what they thought was going to get everybody to sign up
Yeah.
during the fucking Black Lives Matter protests.
I mean, they're fucking up left and right.
who are they trying to get?
Yo, Peter, what's his name? Gotta go, yo. What's
Who's
his name?
Peter what?
The
Peter Nielsen.
Oh, the
Peter-
dude I threw the bone to?
Peter Nielsen.
The,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dude I threw the scraps?
Yeah.
When I let him have the scraps, bro? What, bro? You gotta let Peter Nelson get them scraps, bro.
He made barbecue, dog.
That's it, dog.
You know what's interesting is Scraps is what she's making on unemployment right now.
She didn't get that furlough.
So she probably had to call her daddy for some money.
Son, real talk. My man, when we found out my man killed boxing, dogs.
I'm telling you, he gotta go, yo. He fucking up.
That's foul, bro.
Wait, he killed boxing on HBO?
Not exactly kill. I don't want to put that all on him. Obviously, you know, boxing has been in a transition phase, but like HBO did a lot of the boxing, and then I think,
Yeah, Showtime's been killing.
yeah. So Mayweather went over to Showtime with a massive contract. They
Yeah,
gave him,
you
like,
let
insane
Mayweather go. You let boxing go.
Yeah, basically. All right, we're going to take a break for a second. We got to pay some bills with the most delicious and
Boy.
healthy breakfast
Boy.
cereal. Talk to me, Akaash.
Boy, let me tell you something. This motherfucking Fruity Magic.
See, you
spoon-
like the fruity. You like the
Son,
fruity
I'm
joint.
you are what you eat, yo.
Fair enough.
It's bomb. It's like Tricks, dead
Yes.
ass.
Okay, you go Tricks. Some people say Fruity Pebbles. Some people say Fruit Loops.
Okay.
We name it a competition, but it don't matter. That's how nice it is.
Of course
That's how
it
good
is.
Magic Spoon is. You guys have probably heard us talk about this on the podcast before. Maybe you're new to the podcast. Magic Spoon, amazing breakfast cereal. Okay, stop feeding your kids and yourself these sugary breakfast cereals, right?
100%.
I mean, that's what happens. You feed these kids this like literally 30 pounds of sugar before they go to school. And then you don't understand why they can't pay attention. You put them full of ADD drugs, all that kind of shit. Just feed them something healthy in the morning and quick. You don't have to do a lot of cooking. That's why our parents give us cereal in the first place, because you're lazy. So make sure you give your kids that 0 grams of sugar, 12 grams of protein, only 3 net grams of carbs. You don't want fat kids. 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, my favorite, and blueberry. Tastes amazing. Honestly, you can go to magicspoon.com/flagrant. You grab a variety pack. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Use our promo code flagrant. If you don't like it, they'll give you your money back.
And you will like it.
You will like it, but if you don't, they'll give you your money back.
100%.
Is there anything to lose here?
Nothing at all.
Akaash, can you give us a cheap Indian check on this product?
100%. Check, check, check.
Let me tell you something. Akaash is frugal. Okay,
Boy.
so if that isn't a good deal,
know.
what?
Yeah, I don't even know. Andrew's seen it.
Oh yeah,
Andrew's
it's
seen
full. I love it. I love it because I be throwing money away. Anyway, go to magicspoon.com and remember /flagrant and use the promo code flagrant. You get that, man. Go check it out. And again, money back guaranteed, 100% by happiness. You just got to be happy with it. If you're not happy with it, you get your money
You
back.
know what else is great about it?
What's
Last
that?
thing. If you overeat, like cereal, you could crush a whole box, no
Easy,
problem.
light work.
This shit is filling because it's got a lot of protein. So one bowl and you're good for a few hours.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Magic Spoon. Let's get back to the show. What else we got, man? What else happened?
We can keep it in sports. So
Oh, yo, actually, I
Let's
have
talk
an
about the
argument.
NBA,
Yeah, like, so the Kyrie thing, it's so heavy today, but the Kyrie thing's interesting. Did you hear about the Kyrie thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What
Thoughts?
a surprise. Kyrie doesn't want to play basketball. Hey, you know what this is? This is Kyrie trying to be woke to fuck more white girls. I know this guy. I see through his hustle. I see through you, Kyrie.
You don't think it's real? You don't think it's legit?
What a stupid fucking argument.
Go. Make your argument.
Oh, we can't affect social change if we play. You know who wants to play? LeBron James. You know who's done a lot more for social change than you? LeBron James.
Great argument.
LeBron is always on the front line speaking whenever he got to speak. Kyrie talking about fucking 3 eyes the whole past year. Not playing, complaining about not being the fucking alpha like he wants to be. Where were you on social issues this whole time?
Great point.
Now your solution is to stay silent and do nothing, and that's how you affect social change.
Great point. I think that's a great point. I actually feel...
Isn't it funny how we switch on the Chappelle position and this position?
Yeah.
You're like, Chappelle just gonna let the streets talk? And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, Kyrie just gonna let the streets talk? And you're like, yeah.
And I think we actually both agree, which is like my issue is that Chappelle was like, yo, I'm gonna let the streets talk. And then he put out the special where he's talking. Mm-hmm. But, and I'm sure you probably feel a similar way with Kyrie, right? So here's my thinking about it. As much as I want fucking basketball, dog, as much as I want a sport, right? We're in a very unique time in history where there can be a singular focus about one cause. The entire world is concerned about Black lives, right? And regardless if you want to accept this or not, a major part of that is there's not a lot else going on. I know that sounds like a fucked up thing. Does that sound fucked up to say?
No, that's a valid point.
no,
Al?
That's a valid point.
There's not a lot going on. So when there's not a lot going on, you can focus on something. When you don't, listen, there are so many people. I know so many white people who are like, listen, I don't want anything bad to happen to Black people. I want them to have equality. Yo, there's a march. I got to take my kids to soccer practice, man. Like, I want to be there, but I got to take my wife, I promise. There's so many other things that you were going to do because we all have lives, dog. We all have fucking lives. And right now, there's nothing else to do. The one activity you're allowed to do, even the fucking CDC, as bullshit as they are, we're like, yo, you can do this. You can go outside. You can march. You can protest. There's a singular focus on this issue. The second other things start opening, right?
Yo, to your point, Tiger King was enough to distract us from racism.
Tiger King, the second these other things start opening, you're going to give us a thing to be distracted about. Especially you're going to open almost right into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So now, are we going to watch LeBron play the fucking Celtics in the finals, or are we going to go to this protest? What are we going to do? So do I think Kyrie's actions have, for the most of his career, publicly been selfish? Just publicly. I can't say what he does with his private life. Publicly, have they been selfish?
Yes.
Yes. So it's really hard to hear this from Kyrie and not assume selfishness, which I think is what you're doing. And I think it's 100%
That's the
right.
leeway I'll give Chappelle. You got leeway with me. You've earned credibility. Kyrie has
Where
not.
it hasn't, right? But the thing that flipped me was not Kyrie. It was Lou Williams.
Okay.
And I believe Lou, because that's a real
Who
motherfucker.
is the guy? There's a story that in Philly, somebody was going to carjack Lou Williams and then recognized it was Lou, and Lou did so much in the community that he was like, nah, man, you're good.
And you know what he did? He said, I'm going to take you to get some McDonald's, bro. Because the guy just wanted food to eat.
Incredible.
So it's like, Lou was like, we have the ability to focus on this right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Now, the NBA said I think they're going to give $500 million if they start the season to the cause.
Yeah.
Right now, I actually think what is more valuable than money is attention. Yeah. So I really believe, and I've told this to my friends in the fucking league, and I'm like, yo, honestly, the best thing for y'all all to do is cancel this season and put all the focus on this. But before you cancel it, make sure there are specific demands that you want met. I think if they ask for a specific thing, I don't care what the fuck it is. You can end chokeholds, body cameras. It could be reallocate the police, but a specific thing. Who owns these teams, Akaash?
Billionaires.
When billionaires get affected by things, shit starts to change.
That's true, dog. We talked about this last week. Economic sanction is the only peaceful way to make any change.
Because that economic sanction is violent.
Yeah.
We were talking about this. We're going to do this on a piece. In a society that values money over human life, and keep in mind, George Floyd was killed over a fake $20 bill. So that's money. They were willing to kill this motherfucker over a fake $20 bill. In a society that values money over human life, people do not understand acts of violence towards humans as much as they understand acts of violence towards money.
Yeah.
That's why rioting was effective, because it's coming for the money.
Yeah.
And when you cancel the season, you come for the billionaires' pockets, the most powerful, influential people. You get that shit. All of a sudden, they get wind of that, and they're going to go, I'm going to lose how many $100 million this year? What? Nah.
That's a good point.
I'm calling up my governor. I'm calling up my senator. I'm calling up the police chief. You activate those motherfuckers, you're going to get some real change. And the only way you do that is you come for their fucking pockets. And the only way you do that is you cancel the season. Or you say, we're not starting the season until we get this specific demand met. And don't have to be the end all be all. It has to be something. Use your leverage while you got it.
That's a good point.
That's what I'll say. It's very rare I agree with Kyrie on anything.
That's a good point. Nah, you got me. Flip me.
Make sense, Al?
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%.
Mark?
I
holes?
hope they hold out, but they can't. It's been decided already, right?
So that's the thing. That's the thing about LeBron. I don't think LeBron wants to hold out. And
No,
it's
LeBron wants his legacy. He wants his ring.
He wants his ring.
He's getting old. He's got a good shot this year.
And this is an interesting time where it's like LeBron has done so many amazing things. This is where someone like, what's the fat black dude that's a sellout? What's his name? Whitlock. This is where you criticize LeBron. Not when he's fucking opening schools. Not when he's doing this amazing stuff for the community. You criticize him where it's like, we didn't hear you talk about anything with China because you didn't want to fuck up the bag, which is reasonable because you can do so much with the bag. You've been so generous with your bag. And now there's a situation where there is an argument to be made that the best thing to do is use your political leverage right now with the NBA and with these billionaires to actually make change and not start the league so they can pad their pockets with what little time they got left. Yep. That's where some might say, yo, that's where your voice should go.
If LeBron sat out the playoffs, that would put him in another echelon of athlete too. That puts him in the Muhammad Ali category.
That's Ali.
Yeah.
And that's the only other guy in that category that's that great and was willing to sit out for something he believed in.
And who needs the money less? Who needs it? Like if Lou Williams is willing to go, I don't need my check this year, fam.
Yeah.
No, but it's not. I don't think it's the money. It's his body.
LeBron is doing it for because he's older and he wants a ring.
Oh no, 100%. 100%. I understand that, but like he can't admit that.
Yeah.
Right? Like he can't go, well, I only got 2 more good years left.
Yeah.
He gotta say, no, we can use this money and help the communities. And he might really believe that. And there's an argument for that. Please poke holes if you see.
No, I'm just wondering, is it possible that the players don't have as much leverage as we think? Like, is it possible that they're contractually obligated? Like, if they sit out,
Well,
they
David
lose all
Stern
their
has
money?
also, Adam Silver's also said, like,
Anybody who wants to sit out is fine to sit out.
if you're not in breach of contract, sit out.
He's been the most supportive. Like, I know that, look, say what you want about Adam Silver, but he's a pushover, this, that, the other. You cannot, as a player, you cannot think that this guy doesn't have your back, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he has been so fucking supportive for this. Like, even throughout this whole process, the fact that he's like, I recognize if we restart this league, we are being selfish here. We need to make a massive contribution to Black lives to show that we can be selfish, but also try to push forward the agenda that you're doing.
Yeah.
So why doesn't he just stop the season?
Because he's got to answer to the...
He does a good job of, because the commissioner works for the owners. That's what people always say about Goodell. You guys misunderstand. Goodell doesn't work for the players. He works for the owners.
Yeah.
Silver does a good job of working for the players and still keeping the players, working for the owners and still keeping the players' interest in mind. So he will work for the owners. Hey, let's do this season. We'll make a lot of money. Players, if you're not in breach of contract and you need to sit out, you feel like you want to sit out, go ahead. And if LeBron sat out, just LeBron, the season might not happen, and that would be massive.
Patrick Beverly said that shit. He's like...
If LeBron want to play, we play. And I clown him for that. I was like, of course, if LeBron want to play, we play. That's how this shit works. If Schulz wants to change the time of the podcast, that's what the fuck we're going to do. If Charlamagne wants to change it on him, that's what the fuck you're going to do.
100%.
That's the world.
That's
but
what we do. Yeah.
that's a good point that if LeBron says we're going to sit, shit could change.
And I think it's... And don't sit without getting something out of sitting.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's like you go, listen, we are not playing unless, fuck this bubble shit in Orlando. Fuck the COVID this and the corona that and got to swab everybody every day. Fuck all that. Don't sit unless a demand is met. What is a specific demand that you can actually change? Make it.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm just wondering, is there a situation where the owners can be like, yo, like we can't affect police reform?
Yeah, they can.
And they're like, what? Like you're sitting out, you're disrupting the league, you're affecting Americans. Like, but what can us as owners do?
Use your political leverage. You put money in every one of these
You're a
politicians'
billionaire,
pockets.
you got political leverage.
Right.
Every single election, you are putting money in every candidate's pocket. And you do that so that you use it. Now it's time to use it. Exact change. Son, I'll be honest, and I don't know the most of it, so I'm just going to talk about it like I regularly do. But like, they got rid of undercover cops, or at least they're saying they're getting rid of undercover
Yeah,
cops
Al,
in New
I
York.
thought you might be able to.
I
do
have not heard
So they-
about this.
they
on
just
the topic
released-
list toward the bottom.
That they're getting rid of the undercover cop unit. And then it made me start thinking, the fuck do we have undercover cops for? Someone make the argument for undercover cops.
Because you have a better chance of infiltrating and noticing crime as opposed to.
It ain't your job.
Are you talking the anti-crime unit?
Yeah.
Yeah. They call it that. So,
See, I thought you might know.
but let's break this down. Like, why did we ever have undercover cops? Like, that to me is the legal closest thing to entrapment. You know what entrapment is,
Yes.
right? It's like where you kind of manipulate someone into breaking the law,
Yeah.
right? Give me a good example of entrapment. I try to sell you drugs and then you buy them and then I clip you
Like
for
you say
buying
no
the
at
drugs.
first. And I'm like, no, just get ahead. Just come on.
Yeah, you leave a car with the keys in it.
Yeah, and I used to work.
Oh, that's right. They would do that. They'd leave cars and the keys with the keys in it in the fucking hood. And when the motherfucker take the car, they're like, oh, you stole a car.
So I used to work in the courts. I would say 80% of the drug cases that were brought up, they're called buy and bust, which is an undercover cop tries to buy drugs. The moment they sell, the moment the money's exchanged for the drugs, boom, 4 other guys come rushing in and arrest that person. Like almost 80% of the drug cases were buy and bust cases. And that was undercover cops. So it's like, if that's how they're getting drug dealers off the streets, how else can you do it?
I think their way, what they're talking about is not just the random person who acts as an undercover for a drug deal. I think the undercovers that you see walking around with the sweatbands on their arm, that's how you could tell if it's an undercover. They got the sweatband on their arm, and the sweatband changes colors every day, and that's how there's no friendly fire. So it's like sometimes you see an orange sweatband. You see a dude in a regular ass cargo fucking pant outfit, the same like police sneakers and like the Yankee fitted, but they always have a sweatband on one arm.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And if you see that, that's how you know it. Now, I think those dudes who are just walking around, you know, the dude who would stand by the turnstile,
Yeah.
waiting to give you a ticket for jumping his turnstile.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wear the fucking outfit.
Yeah.
Like, why are you not wearing the outfit? Wear the outfit.
Yeah, because if you wear the outfit, then they won't do the crime right in front of you.
Exactly. So the crime is still stopped, but now someone who might need you and need your help at least sees you and they can go to you. So you deter, right? So you, in a way, you could deter less crime. And now it just feels like we're being watched every second. You know, like we all hate those cameras, right? Those cameras that like give you a ticket for speeding.
Yeah.
It's like we hate them because we're being watched the whole fucking time. You create a police state like that.
Yeah.
That's some low key. Now listen, please look up what the arguments are.
To eliminate crime, it is to arrest people. If you're,
Yeah.
that's what it seems like if you're doing the anti-crime. unit.
Yo, the job is to protect us.
The actual anti-crime
Not arrest us.
The actual anti-crime is a guy in a police uniform. That's anti-crime. There's no crime happening when you see a police uniform.
Yeah.
This is just you do the crime and then we arrest you.
Yeah, I gotta learn more about.
Can you
that
look
and
up
think on
what the
that
point
one,
of it
'cause
is,
this
Mark? Are
interesting.
you looking it up?
So just piecing it together really quick, like basically like covert operations were used a lot during war.
Yeah.
So like historically, like you send in spies to go like chill with the enemies, get
Right.
intel, send it back, and then if you need to blow that whole shit up, you can like start killing people from the inside. So when we start the war on drugs, it's basically like a operation to try to infiltrate drug communities and try to like bust the people slinging drugs like
Using
it's
a war tactic.
like it's a war. So like it starts in like the 60s when like, well, I mean, it's existed prior to that, existed like in London with like all like that, what is it, the MS5 or whatever? What's the British?
MI6.
MI6, yeah. Like, so it started there, but like basically it's a war tactic kind of used during the war on drugs and like to try to like get criminals out of crime ridden communities.
Why are you using war tactics against your own people?
They call it a war on drugs, war on poverty, all that shit.
I'm telling you, these practices, it's fucked up.
Here's the thing. I get very
Gassing your own
concerned.
people, and you don't even gas fucking war criminals.
Yeah, I get very concerned when America's not good at finishing wars. Right? Like we've been in war constantly for like the last 20 years, 30 years,
Yeah.
right? I don't want a war on drugs. To me, a war on drugs is, that's going on forever. I don't want a war on drugs from an American standpoint. I want some shit that we finish. What's something that Americans do and then it's done? You know, the war on poverty. I don't like this idea. War. How do you kill poverty? Like, stop using that terminology. It doesn't even make sense. I think that undercover shit is low key absurd, bro. Like, I think it should be illegal that police officers are walking around not looking like police officers. Of course we gonna do a little fucked up. Of course we gonna jaywalk. Like, this is part of life. We don't want to live in like some, like Russian police state where like you have to be worried about your neighbor snitching on you every second. Nah, bro.
I mean, not to mention like the war on drugs is effectively just like a war on poor people.
Yes.
I mean, like it's poor people like.
And that was going to be my question about the anti-crime unit. Do they tend to go to poor areas? Do they tend to be in poor black areas, poor Latino areas?
Oh yeah. Of
Yeah, they go to the areas
So
where there's poor people because poor people are committing crime, and in America, poor people are typically black. Like it's the poor communities that are black, so it's basically a war on black people.
I
more
mean,
or less. And then
yeah,
not to
cut that
mention
shit
there's
out,
the CIA involvement in like trafficking drugs into. Black
that's another thing. It's like, how dare you put drugs into the community and then say there's a war on drugs?
Well, that's the move.
Don't get me started on all
we've
this
been,
shit.
we've
Don't
been
get me
saying
all.
this shit for so long.
Don't get me
man,
started on all this shit.
And that shit is declassified too. It's not even a conspiracy.
Yeah.
If you look up like CIA Contra cocaine trafficking,
Yeah.
like they were just like at least implicitly involved in like bringing drugs into poor communities.
And
My
I would make the
girl's
argument-
family friend was one of the dudes who flew the plane.
Wow.
He was one of the dudes who flew the plane, and he carried around every day of his life a note from the president, or it was like from the CIA, that gave him permission for what he did.
Oh, that's dope.
And one time he got picked up by the police, and he got sent to jail. And for you were trafficking drugs, this, that, the other. He just said, call the lawyer. The lawyer came in and he said, do you have the note? They hand that motherfucker the note.
Is this that Tom Cruise movie?
Nah, different guy. Tom Cruise's movie was something. That's what I thought at first. I was like, yo, you know Tom Cruise. But this dude's still alive. Yeah. But because Tom Cruise there got, right? I think he got murked. I don't know what that is. I think he was doing it through like in Ohio or some shit like that. Gives him the note. They go to him. Is this the only copy, by the way? He goes, no, plenty of copies. They let him walk. Still out today.
Wow.
So that shit was real, and this is why they did it. Because you go to Nicaragua, because there's obviously that conflict right there. It was like the Contras and the Sandinistas, right?
Yeah.
Now you're like, all right, here's some guns, but we need payment for guns. Well, Nicaragua ain't got no money, so what you gonna pay us in? What you gonna pay us in?
Yeah.
Cocaine.
Drugs, right? Now I got drugs. Fuck do I do with the drugs?
Yep.
I gotta sell it somewhere, right?
Yeah. That was actually, I saw the 13th or the 13th of every call. That was my one critique is they didn't mention that. That's a declassified thing that the whole point is they're locking up black people because that's essentially free labor, slave labor. And why wouldn't you mention they also pump the drugs into the black community and then threaten more harshly for crack than they do cocaine? Like, why would you neglect? That's a declassified file. I had heard that 10, 15 years ago. Why wouldn't you put that in the doc? That's my only, that's weird. And I don't think it's I think it's a good documentary. Everybody should watch it. But I was like, that would have really hammered the point home, right? Anyway.
Yeah. What do you think would be the government's incentive to try to disrupt black communities? Like, just to keep poor people down, you think? Or, like, to try to use race as a way to, like, get people to fight? Like,
that was also what I was, because it seemed like...
And then, like...
I don't think it's
racist
just
practices and them not caring about black people.
you think they targeted black people specifically?
Yeah.
Because they're
like
racist.
Less people
I think
care about black people.
I think they might have thought the lives
They
of the
can
most
get away with
expendable.
it.
I think there's a lot of different things going on, right? There's like there's so many different layers to it. One is an expanding police budget that needs to be justified. And you justify that with arrests. And what are the easiest arrests that you're going to get? You're going to go into poor neighborhoods where these people, one, are not going to be able to fight the crimes like a rich person would, right? And two, where they're going to be involved in more illegal activity because they're going to be doing more illegal things to make ends meet. It's just the reality of the matter. You might fucking steal cable. None of my rich friends stole cable.
Yeah.
My poor friends would find a little black box and hook some shit up, do whatever it is.
Yeah.
That was the shit.
That was the shit back in the day. So yeah, I think there's a bunch of different fucking things, you know? Yeah. You know, I think that's just like one facet of it. Of course, yeah, you could have the poor people fighting, and we were talking about this yesterday, but like you could create that kind of like a class dynamic. You could like control the lower class by having them bicker amongst themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, who are the most racist people, right?
Yeah, poor people.
Poor people, right? And of course, because they've been kind of fed that information to justify it. So you have them fight amongst themselves because God forbid they come together, right? They come together. That's a powerful amount of people. You make a lot of change, those people come together. I mean, that's what MLK was saying, right? He was going to do the poor person's march, and they got him the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Second, he was like, yo, we got to help poor people. Second, Martin Luther King was like, yo, we got to help poor people. They were like, what?
Yeah, when it wasn't
You got
just-
a nightmare.
Was it,
You ain't got no dreams.
when it wasn't just about black people.
I
It's
didn't
like,
even know that.
no, it's poor people.
And
We're
Vietnam,
in the
too.
same fight. Yeah.
He was like vehemently opposed to Vietnam, and they fucking murdered.
Adios. So yeah, there's certain agendas. You know what I mean?
I thought in terms of that, I thought like, again, based on what I saw on 13th, it was just like, there's that little thing, no slavery unless, of course, there's criminals or whatever. I think they were just thinking like, all right, well, we need slaves. These are already people that we kind of look at like that. Like, if we're going to have slaves, that's the easiest person to compartmentalize is like a group of people I've already done that to.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Ooh, heavy episode today, boys.
Yeah.
Let's focus here. Everybody focus here. Let's be honest. I want everybody listening at home. I want y'all to be honest. I want everybody to be honest right now. Be honest. I'm not talking about that at all.
Okay.
I want everybody to be honest.
Sure.
Okay. Given your safety would be intact and nobody would see you there, would you go to the Trump rally in Tulsa,
Yes.
Oklahoma? Akaash says yes. Remember, nobody would know that you were there. Your safety was intact.
Yes.
Just to experience
I just
it.
need to know what's going on in there.
Boom,
Yes.
boom.
Yeah, I would want to go see and experience any historical event that's like important, like regardless of how good or bad it is.
But why is this an important historical event?
You haven't gone to
Bro,
one
because-
march.
Because Trump getting elected was history.
It's Trump
No,
and
but we're
like,
talking about one specific.
well, this one
news.
specifically because all the stuff around it with like Juneteenth, Tulsa, Oklahoma, all that shit.
I mean, this is. I agree with you.
He
Yeah.
moved the date because he's pussy.
Right.
Keep going.
But like, I would go to.
I
the
think
pre-
that was the intention the whole time. I think he used that as a way to get buzz for it, and then jump to the
Giving
next
him
day.
an out, son. That shit is pussy. Keep the.
I give it up to their marketing. I think their marketing is on point. And also, I think it's like, it's really funny the way people reacted to the Juneteenth thing. Because like, if he was a politician that you thought was really like respectful of black people and like cared about black people, doing it on Juneteenth, you'd be like, yo, how woke is he? He's doing it on the day slavery ended, and he's going to Tulsa,
That's the point, though.
Oklahoma. No, I know. So it's like he's doing it in this place, where Black Wall Street was burned down. Like, this guy is for us. But the fact that everybody's like he's racist, it looks as like it's an antagonistic act. Does that make sense? So you put whatever your views of Trump are onto the situation instead of just going, this is what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But
Like if Obama did it,
You'd be like, yo, he's the wokest, blackest dude ever. He would do this. This is our president. But since Trump does it, it's like, he hates us. Yet it's the exact same action.
yeah.
So then why would he move the date?
But no, but of course you.
If his intentions are good, then don't move the date.
Yo,
Judge me-
it is
judge
true.
me-
He was like, yo, I didn't know, but there was this thing called Juneteenth.
And this thing did happen in Tulsa. Like, he knew, and he was trying to rile up his base.
I think that's what it was. I think that it was used. I bet you they rented the shit for both days.
I don't think his intention was completely coincidental. Let's go to Tulsa on Juneteenth.
I think he wanted to rebuild Black Wall Street. I think that's his
Make
goal.
Black Wall Street great again.
Real talk.
he
Not build
loves
a wall.
walls, bro.
Build a wall.
He loves walls, bro.
Nah, but I would go and also go to Biden's situation because it's like the same way I look at
Yeah, you
news.
gotta go to
I'll
both.
watch
Sorry.
CNN for a little bit and then I'll watch Fox News.
Son, but
just
what
so
if
I
you
can
go
get
to
both
what if,
sides.
what if
Alex-
when you go to both?
Alex said this to me yesterday. He goes, yo, because I'm
lie on
saying this. I'm like, yo, I want to go to. I was like, yo, I want to go to. I want to witness it. I think it'd be cool to witness it.
Yeah.
He goes, yo, but we got to go to Biden's too. Or would you go to Biden's too? Are you interested in going to Biden's too? And I go, nothing would make me happier than to listen to that old man babble in front of 20,000 people. And when I say that, I'm describing both of them.
Yeah.
But Biden's going to say crazy shit and Trump is going to say crazy shit. I absolutely would love to go experience both of them. It is an interesting thing. You'd have to make sure your safety was on point. Because what if he riles
Me in
motherfuckers
particular,
up?
Al in particular.
Shit. Yeah. Anyway, look, man. You guys let us know. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. This episode is all over the place. It's wild. Alex is going to do some surgery to put this thing together.
Sorry for it being late.
Yeah, we're
Not
sorry
my
for it being
fault.
late. We appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys so much, dude. We'll see you guys this Friday on Patreon, obviously. Patreon.com/flagrant2. Come join. We're almost at 10,000 over
Let's
there.
go.
It is crazy the growth, man. We coming for these motherfuckers. Those spots ahead of us. We're coming for top 5 spot, man. We're gonna come for top spot 5, then we're gonna go top 1. I really want that Patreon to just be the most mad. If it was up to me, there'd be all of you guys that listen to this episode regularly would also be on a Patreon. Let's create that fucking army and just move culture with it, man. Like move ideas out there and just keep fucking shit up like we have been. It's something we're really proud of, man. So yo, go check that out. We love you. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see you, if not Friday, next Tuesday. Peace.
God bless.